Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks news pack for Monday, February the 28th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks, and we're also part of the Area 51 Sports Network. Reminder, we are live tonight, post-game after the Vancouver Canucks take on the New Jersey Devils, talking and recapping that game, the Rangers game, and the Flames game, what is happening there. We'll get into that as well as discuss some of the news that has just come out today as well. So watch for us on the all of the channels there as we get ourselves ready for talking. We talk Canucks Mondays and we talk Flames on Wednesdays. So we'll be discussing that. And we'll get into some news as a Canuck has been named a second star of the week, and we'll touch on that. But the news that we need to start with today is the IIHF has laid down the hammer on Russia, and as it's starting to as a number of leagues have done. The IIHF has released a statement. They have suspended all Russian and Belarusian national and club teams from IIHF competitions until further notice and withdrew the hosting rights of the 2023 World Juniors from Russia. The In the statement from the IIHF during an extraordinary meeting held on Monday, February 28th, the IIHF Council has evaluated the impact of the current war. The IIHF strongly condemns the use of military force in Ukraine and urges the use of diplomatic means to solve conflict. The IIHF has decided to take the following actions: suspension of all Russian and Belarusian national teams and clubs from participation in every age category, and in all IIHF competitions or events until further notice. Withdrawal of the 2023 IIHF World Junior Championships hosting rights from Russia, sorry. Luke Tardif continues, the IIHF is not a political entity and cannot influence the decisions being taken over the war in Ukraine. We nevertheless have the duty of care to all of our members and participants and must do all we can to ensure that we are able to operate our events in a safe environment for all teams taking part in the IIHF World Championship program. We were incredibly shocked to see the images that have come out of Ukraine. I have been in close contact with the Ice Hockey Federation of Ukraine, and we hope for all Ukrainians that this conflict can be resolved in a peaceful way and without need of further violence. That is from IIHF President Luke Tardif. That just came down just before we were recording. So it looks like that is what's going on there. Chris Peters has tweeted out, it is unclear if the rescheduled World Juniors will add a replacement team to make it a 10-team tournament with a Russia Bard, the team that won. So again, what that also means, of course, is the World Juniors in August, as Wayne Gretzky suggested on NHL and TNT during the Stadium Series, that would happen. That has happened. So Chris Peters tweeted out, it is unclear if the rescheduled World Juniors will add a replacement team to make it a 10-team tournament with Russia Bard. The team that won promotion for the 2023 World Juniors was Belarus, so it cannot be them, obviously. Latvia finished second in the division, a tournament of promotion to top level. So that's another question that's going to be happening. What team will be replacing that? The NHL has also released a statement on the Russian invasion of Ukraine today. It is the National Hockey League condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine and urges a peaceful resolution as quickly as possible. Effective immediately, we are suspending our relationships with our business partners in Russia, and we are pausing our Russian language social and digital media sites. In addition, we are discontinuing any consideration of Russia as a location for any future competitions involving the NHL. We also remain concerned about the well-being of the players from Russia who play in the NHL on behalf of their NHL clubs and not on behalf of Russia. We understand that they and their families are being placed in an extremely difficult position. Tweet from Darren Dreger today. about that as well. It's he just spoke with Hockey Agent One. He has raised concern of real threats to his Russian-based clients, and both in person and on social media to the NHL and NHL clubs with Russian-born players. Milstein is asking for additional security for his players in North America. So, Hockey Agent One, for those who don't know, is a player agent by Dan Milstein. So, there is concern. There's also still continues to be concern about North American players playing in the KHL right now, what's going on with that. So this is still a very much a moving target, but the NHL and IIHF have laid down some hammers today on Russia. We'll see what that does as well. There's still a lot of other things to think about. There's the CHL import draft is one other thing that will have to be thought about here as well, and some other international things that we'll have in play. Of course, what do the Russians do in the off season, and as well as Russians that may be eligible for the NHL draft playing, not necessarily in Canada. There'll be some other considerations. There's still a number of things to be concerned about on this. So we will keep an eye on that and continue to follow us for that information here as well. Let's get to the 3 stars of the week in the National Hockey League as we move back into the NHL here. Austin Matthews is number 1 star. And of course, what a wild night in Detroit when as the Leafs beat the Red Wings 10-7. He had 9 points. Matthews did in 4 games, as Matthews is now in first place on the Rocket Richard race. The Leafs were 2-1-1. They were held off. He was held off the short score sheet against Montreal. He did have a multiple point game in a 4-3 overtime loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then he scored twice against the Minnesota Wild, and then he had 4 points against the Detroit Red Wings in that 10-7 victory. JT Miller was second star. He scored 8 points in the 3 appearances, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points, including that penalty shot goal against the Calgary Flames back on Thursday, which finished off with a 4-point night. He had 2 assists last night in their win against the New York Rangers. And he also had a pair of assists against the Seattle Kraken back on Monday, February 21st. So JT Miller, the subject of trade rumors, of many trade conversations on this podcast and other podcasts, is second star. Third star, Steven Stamkos. He posted 4 points in 2 outings, including a 3-point night in the Stadium Series game, the 2022 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series in Nashville. They closed the gap. They're within 1 point of the Florida Panthers. He also scored a goal in a 5-3 win against the Oilers on February the 23rd. So Austin Matthews, JT Miller, Steven Stamkos are your 3 stars of the week. As far as games tonight, there are 3. Of course, we mentioned we'll be on live as the Vancouver Canucks take on the New Jersey Devils. The Canucks right now are just 3 points out of a playoff spot. One of the things we'll get into, we're discussing, is go for it or not. It is 3 points. The Canucks have won 3 in a row. And the Devils, of course, are 18-29 and 5 for 41 points. It is Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes' third matchup against each other. The Toronto Maple Leafs are back in action after their 10-7 win over the Washington Capitals, and they are facing, or 10-7 win over the Detroit Red Wings. They're facing the Washington Capitals tonight. The Washington Capitals are now in that second wildcard spot at 65 points. They've lost 2 in a row. The Leafs have come in winners of 2 in a row. And the Boston Bruins, who are out on the west coast of the United States, have won 4 in a row. They're facing the LA Kings, who have won 5 in a row and are currently in second place in the Pacific Division and is, depending on your perspective in terms of streak, they have the longest winning streak in the National Hockey League. Or in the Western Conference for sure. Is it National Hockey League as well? The Montreal Canadiens are matching them with 5. Carolina, so they're one of the hottest streaking teams. Just Calgary, though, is 9-1 in the last 10. Los Angeles 8-1 in their last 10. So those are the 3 games tonight. In terms of injuries, Mario Ferraro suffered a injury for the Sharks, a fractured left fibula, and he had surgery yesterday. He was racing for the puck on Saturday against Taylor Hall and broke that. So he's out 6 to 8 weeks. That should take him to out at least the regular season. We'll have to see if that goes longer than all the best there for Mario Ferraro there as well. So that's a pretty significant injury for the San Jose Sharks, who are currently at 54 points, 7 points out of a playoff spot, that last spot held by Dallas. Back to the Canucks here for a second in terms of it's expected that Yaroslav Halak is starting tonight. Bruce Boudreau confirmed that during his morning availability. As well, I wanted to touch on Oliver Kylington. If you were watching the Flames game against the Minnesota Wild on Saturday, it was a very scary incident. Not a dirty play necessarily, I don't think, by Ryan Hartman, but Oliver Kylington hit his head into the boards very hard. But he was on the ice today, so hopefully, so far, all things looking like he's could be back and good to go from everything. Daryl Sutter did say after the game that he is fine, but we're just glad to see that that was a very scary situation for those watching that game or watching that situation as well. So we're glad to see that from Oliver Kylington. And finally, we'll touch on the WHL Players of the Week. Player of the Week, Carter Souch of the Edmonton Oil Kings in 3 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. And Goaltender of the Week is Victoria Royals goaltender Tyler Palmer, 2 games, 1 goal, 969 save percentage, as the Royals are doing some interesting things in terms of where they're at right now. They've wrote in the I wrote in the Area 51 WHL in Area 51 recap how the Victoria Royals have won 8 of 10 over the Vancouver Giants. The Royals are currently sitting in 8th, 15-31-4. They have 35 points right now. They have won 3 of their last 10, as other teams are kind of stumbling along a little bit there. So that is the news. Reminder again, we're back on again live just after the Vancouver Canucks New Jersey Devils game tonight. So 7 Pacific, around 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain. Follow us all individually. Sean Beardy, Canucks03 on Twitter. Tyler TNOBLE, Chris Schneidz, SCHNEIDZ. We'll get to hear from him. He watched the Abbotsford Canucks take on the Stockton Heat when he was in town. He also I'll hear from Sean. He got to see Connor Bedard in person. Devin, Gordhowe09. I am KEVOLE. Shifts and Pucks on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And subscribe to wherever you get your audio. Also on Area 51 Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. And we'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.